not to the old, nor takes the usual path. There's no prohibition in his work and words. In God all is free, liberated with no constraints, and he brings men freedom and liberation. He's the living God who truly exists. No puppet, no idol, he is different than this. He's living and vibrant, his words and work bring life and light, all freedom to mankind. Because he holds the truth, the life and the way in his words and work, he is not constrained. Because he holds the truth, the life and the way in his words and work, he is not constrained. No matter what people say or how they perceive his new work, he will still carry out his work unreserved. He doesn't worry over men's notions or finger pointing. Their strong opposition does not hold him back. No human reason imagining knowledge or morality can be used as a measure or define what God does. None of creation can discredit, disturb, none can interfere with his work. Nothing and no one prohibits what he does, and it won't be constrained by anything or anyone. No hostile forces will disrupt anything. In his new work, he's an ever victorious king. Any hostile forces and all man's heresies, they are all trampled under his footstool. No matter which new stage of his work he is doing, it must be developed and expanded among men, carried out without hindrance in the whole universe, until he has completed his great work. And this is God's almightiness, his wisdom and power. There are no prohibitions with Almighty God. In his work he has principles, but no prohibitions, because God himself is the truth, the way, and the life.
No one apart from him can know our every thought, can have such a grasp of our nature and substance, can judge the rebellion, corruption of mankind, work and speak among us on behalf of God in heaven. This ordinary, insignificant one, rejected by us, is he not the Lord Jesus, ever in our thoughts, whom we long for night and day? It is he, our God. God's disposition, what God has and is, are issued forth from Him. This ordinary, insignificant one, rejected by us, is He not the Lord Jesus, ever in our thoughts, whom we long for night and day? It is He, our God, the truth, and the way, and the life. None but Him can bring us light and show the way. Reveal the mysteries that God has not shown till today. No one apart from Him can save us from bondage. Our corrupt disposition from Satan. He represents God, utters the voice of God's heart. His exhortations and judgment of mankind. This ordinary, insignificant one, rejected by us, is He not the Lord Jesus, ever in our thoughts, whom we long for night and day? It is He, our God, the truth, and the way, and the life. Oh. He has brought a new age, a new heaven and earth. He brings new work and hope for us, ending lives we led in obscurity, letting us behold the path of salvation. Oh, He has conquered our being and gained our hearts. Now our minds become conscious and our spirits revived. This ordinary, insignificant one, rejected by us, is He not the Lord Jesus, ever in our thoughts, whom we long for night and day? It is He, our God, the truth, the way, and the life.
The last day's work is to speak words. Great changes come to man from words, and the changes riches are much greater in people who accept them, greater than those who accepted signs and wonders of the age of grace. In that age demons were cast out with laying on of hands and prayer, while man's corruption still remained. Man's corruption still remained, while man's corruption still remained. Man was healed, forgiven of sin, but work still had to be done to enable man to be purged of his corrupt disposition. Man was saved because of his faith, but his sinful nature still remained. It was through the incarnate God the sins of man were forgiven, but man still had sin within him. Man still had sin within him. Man still had sin within him. After that stage of work was done, the work of judgment still remained. The word is used to make man pure and give man a path in this stage. Through sin offering, man has been forgiven for all of his sins. For the work of crucifixion has already come to an end. God has prevailed over Satan, has prevailed over Satan, has prevailed over Satan. But the corrupt disposition still remained within man. Man could still sin and resist God, and so God still has not gained man. That's why God in this stage uses words to unmask the corruptions of men, so he'll take the right path. There is more meaning in this stage, and it is more fruitful. For now the word supplies man's life, it allows man to be renewed. It's an intensive stage of work, God's becoming flesh in last days completes incarnation's meaning, and God's plan for man to be saved. The word makes man pure in last days. 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 The word makes man pure in last days.
His wrath will consume their crimes.
God will surely stay in Zion, never to leave, always. Oh, listen to His voice and heed His deeds, and her voices of praise for Him will never cease. The one true God has already appeared. We shall be certain of Him and follow closely. The end of the world's unfolding before us. Renounce your love for the secular world's world.
Free from attachment to your spouse and children. Renounce your views and prejudices you can't. Wake up, time's short, look to God, let Him take control. Don't be cast aside like those wives so sad. Wake up, wake
Christ's substance is determined by His work and expressions. With a heart that is true, He completes what's entrusted. Worships God in heaven and seeks His Father's will. This is all determined by His substance, and so too are His natural revelations, so called because His expressions aren't imitations or from years of man's cultivation or education. They're not learned or self-adorned, but inherent. They're not learned or self-adorned, but inherent. Man may deny His word, His expressions, and humanity. They may even deny His life of normal humanity, but not His true heart when worshiping No one can deny that He's here to fulfill the will of the Heavenly Father. And no one can deny the sincerity with which He seeks God the Father. His image may not be pleasing to the senses. His discourse may not possess an air of sensation. His work may not be as earth or heaven shattering as what is believed in man's imagination. But He's indeed Christ, who fulfills His Father's will with a true heart and total submission and deathly obedience. Oh, it's because His substance is that of the Christ, a truth that's hard to believe, but is indeed in existence. A truth that's hard to believe, but is indeed in existence. A truth that's hard, yes, hard to believe, but is indeed in existence.
God's work in the last days is done through this ordinary man. He'll bestow all unto you, He'll decide everything of you. Can such a man be as you believe? So simple and not worth a mention. Does His truth not convince you? Are His deeds not convincing? Is this path not worth following? Why be so adverse to Him? What causes you to behave this way? To shirk from Him and cast Him away? Because of the coming of God's second incarnation, God has forgiven you. He's shown mercy to you, and these are the words that God leaves you with. This ordinary man, who is God incarnate, is of vital value to you. This great thing among people God has done. It's He who expresses truth. It's He who supplies the truth. He gives you the path walk? Do you still not understand? Can you still not detect the traces of God's work amongst all these truths? Without the work of Jesus, man couldn't descend from the cross. Without this day's incarnation, those who come down from the cross could never be commended by God, couldn't enter the new age at all. Because of the coming of God's second incarnation, God has forgiven you. He's shown mercy to you, and these are the words that God leaves you with. This ordinary man who is God incarnate is of vital value to you. This great thing among people God has done. Without this man's arrival, you will never have the chance, never be eligible to see God's true countenance. For all of you are the ones that should have long ago been destroyed for good. Because of the coming of God's second incarnation, God has forgiven you. He's shown mercy to you, and these are the words that God leaves you with. This ordinary man who is God incarnate is of vital value to you. Oh, because of the coming of God's second incarnation, God has forgiven you. He's shown mercy to you, and these are the words that God leaves you with. This ordinary man who is God incarnate is of vital value to you. This great thing among people God has done.
God has done new work today. You may not accept. It might feel odd, but God asks you not to show your natural selves. Nothing comes of seeking truth through bickering and fighting. Only seeking calmly can an outcome be achieved. For only those who hunger and thirst for righteousness before Him can obtain the truth. And only those who truly devout can be enlightened, can be guided by Him, can be guided by Him. When God says that He has new work today, He means God's return to the flesh. Perhaps you do not mind these words. Perhaps you despise them. Perhaps they are of interest to you. God hopes all those who yearn for the appearance of Him to carefully consider it's best not to jump to any conclusions. This is the way the wise should act, for only those who hunger and thirst for righteousness before Him can obtain the truth. Oh, and only those who truly devout can be enlightened, can be guided by Him. Whoa, can be guided by Him. Oh, by Him, can be guided by Him.
Living in the flesh is living in a human hell. And without God's chastisement and judgment, like Satan, man's unclean as well. Only through chastisement and judgment by God can man awaken, despise his own flesh, despise the evil Satan. You should know God's chastisement and judgment is the light. Know that God's judgment is the light of man's salvation. And know that God's judgment is man's best grace and protection. There is no greater blessing. There is no greater blessing. If man wishes to be cleansed and bring change to his disposition, if he desires a life of meaning and to fulfill his duty as God's creature, he must accept God's chastisement and judgment, not let discipline depart him, so he can free himself from Satan, so God's light he can live in. You should know God's chastisement and judgment is the light. Know that God's judgment is the light of man's salvation. And know that God's judgment is man's best grace and protection. There is no greater blessing. There is no greater blessing. God's discipline frees man from the influence of Satan. It frees him from his own world, so he may live in the light of God's presence. There is no better salvation. There is no better salvation. There is no better salvation. There is no better salvation than judgment and chastisement.
You should know God's just judgment, and judgment is the light. Know that God's judgment is the light of man's salvation. And know that God's judgment is man's best grace and protection. There is no greater blessing. There is no greater blessing. Accept His judgment. Accept His judgment. Live in the light of God. Accept His judgment. Accept His judgment. Live in the light of God.
That is of greatest value to corrupt man is that which provides precise words, clear goals to pursue, and which can be seen and touched, which can be seen and touched. Just realistic work and guidance that is timely are the things best suited to man's taste. Yes, only real work saves man from depravity and his corrupt disposition. Only the incarnate God can do this, can save man from his formerly corrupt and depraved disposition. He shall show man the importance of His word, give flesh to man, so man may understand the import of this flesh to the very meaning of man's existence. Show its real value to the growth of man's life, and further man shall know that this flesh will become a living fountain of life, from which men cannot bear to part, from which men cannot bear to part. Most people have become enemies, God's enemies, because of this flesh. Yet when He ends, concludes all His work, they'll stop being enemies. They'll be against Him no more. On the contrary, they will become His witnesses, all having been conquered by Him, become compatible. They're compatible with Him and inseparable from Him. Only the incarnate God can do this, can save man from his formerly corrupt and depraved disposition. He shall show man the importance of His word, flesh to man, so man may understand the import of this flesh to the very meaning of man's existence. cannot bear to part.
God urges the people of all ethnicities, all countries and even industries. Listen to God's voice and see His work. Pay attention to the fate of humanity. May God, the most holy and honorable, the highest and only object for worshiping, allow the whole of humanity to live under the blessing of God, just as the descendants of Abraham lived under the promise of Jehovah. Just as God's creations, Adam and Eve, lived in the Garden of Eden. God's work is like mightily surging waves. None can detain Him or halt His feet. Only by listening to His word and pursuing Him can His footsteps be followed and promise received. All others shall face total annihilation and receive their deserved punishment. God urges the people of all ethnicities, all countries and even industries. Listen to God's voice and see His work. Pay attention to the fate of humanity. Let all pay attention to the fate of all mankind. Ooh.
Corrupt man doesn't know of God or worship Him. At creation with Adam and Eve, Jehovah's glory stayed. But man became corrupted, lost the glory and testimony when all rebelled against God and stopped revering Him. Today's work is to get back all of the glory, so all may worship God. Bear witness among creation, this shall be done in this stage of work, the work of conquest in the last days. How can man be conquered? The work of words convinces man with judgment and God's words will serve to conquer and convince man. All who accept this must take the judgment of God's words. If you can obey these words, not follow your own ways, then you will have been conquered by the words of God. Oh, today's work is to get back all of the glory, so all may worship God. Bear witness among creation, this shall be done in this stage of work, the work of conquest in the last days, the work of conquest in the last days.
After years of hardships, chastised and refined, man finally is weather beaten. Glory, Romans, now lost, he now understands the truth of being man and God's devotion. And so he offers up the most precious sacrifice to his God, smiling down on him. And so he offers up the most precious sacrifice to his God, smiling down on him. He loathes his wickedness, hates his savageness and misconceptions and demands of God. He cannot reverse time, change all his regrets, but God's word and love now give him new life. And so he offers up the most precious sacrifice to his God, smiling down on him. And so he offers up the most precious sacrifice to his God, smiling down on him. Day by day, man's wounds heal, strength returns, he stands, gazes at the face of the Almighty, only to discover Father, God's always been here. His smile and His laugh still so beautiful. And so He offers up the most precious sacrifice to His God, who's smiling down on Him. And so He offers up the most precious sacrifice to His God, smiling down on Him. His heart holds men's concerns, His hands warm and strong as they've always been from the beginning. It's like man's return to Garden of Eden. He resists serpent, turns to Jehovah. And so He offers up the most precious sacrifice to His God, who's smiling down on Him. And so He offers up the most precious sacrifice to His God, who's smiling down on Him. Oh, my Lord, my
If you accept the judgment and chastisement of the Word of God, drop religious ways. Do not use old notions to measure God's new words. Then you will have a future. But if you cling to the old things, treasuring them, there's no way to be saved. God will never notice you in God's work and word. He does not refer to the old ways of history and things before. If you want to be made perfect, you must let go of past things. What was right or done by God must also be put aside. Even if it was the work of the Spirit, you must put it aside. This is what God requires. All must be renewed. God is always new and never old. He does not cling to His old words or follow any rules. As a human being, you cling to past things, rigidly applying them as formulas. But all the while, God does not work the same as He did before. Aren't your words and actions disruptive? If you cling to the past, aren't you the enemy of God? Are you willing to let your life go to ruin over old things? If you want to be Jehovah. Jesus became flesh to work among men. His work wasn't in isolation. It was built upon Jehovah's work. It was work for a new age. After God ended the age of law, and when the work of Jesus ended, to the next stage God went on. God's management always progresses forward. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. When the old work is done, God's new work will be born. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. Oh, 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 oh. After Jesus finished work, God's incarnated a second time. But this does not occur on its own. It follows age of law, age of grace. Each new stage of God's work will bring a new beginning and a new age. His disposition and His name, where and how He works will also change. God's management always progresses forward. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. When the old work is done, God's new work will be born. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. Oh, 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 always progresses forward. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. When the old work is done, God's new work will be born. When the old age passes, a new age will come forth. Oh, 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 oh. God's words are the truth, forever unchanging. God is the supplier of life and man's only guide. The worth and meaning of His words are determined by their substance, not if man accepts or recognizes them. Even if no man on earth receives His words, their value and help to man are measureless. God's words are the truth, for to them is this: let time and facts be his witness. Show his words are the truth, the way and life. Show that all that he has said is right, is what man should possess and abide by. God's words are the truth, forever unchanging. God is the supplier of life and man's only guide to all those who follow him. God will let them in on this fact, those who cannot accept his words or carry them out through their acts, and those who cannot discover a purpose or fail to find salvation in his words. All of these are people God's words have condemned. They have lost God's salvation. From them his punishment will never stray far. God's words are the truth, forever unchanging. God is the supplier of life and man's only guide. God's words are the truth, forever unchanging. God is the supplier of life and man's only guide.
Audio Jungle.